Hello there and welcome to my channel Novice Modelling in the Midlife Crisis. My name is Andy and as you can see, look what I've created again. We have a J's model kit Commonwealth Wirraway kit number JY0120 in front of us. That has been finished over the last couple of weeks in time for Australia Day, which is today. So g'day Australia. For me, this journey with New Zealand garage kits, as these are called, as they were originally produced in the 1990s by a chappie called Malcolm Laird in New Zealand, started around about 10 months ago, 11 months ago, with this kit, which was a VENTURA Mark 22, which I did a great injustice to and criticised quite a lot and made a right pig's ear of making, as you can see. Some people pointed me in the right direction and said that actually these kits were kind of cool, so I went along and had a look, and I bought a few more of them. If you're interested in my adventures previous and continuing with New Zealand garage kits, there will be a link in the description box below where you can have a look at a whole range of videos that I've actually done on the subject, possibly about 10. There is a load of what's in the boxes. And I do actually, I'm the proud owner now of, I think it's about 20 TASMAN, J's, VENTURA kits. So obviously I have a bit of a thing and a bit of a passion for these. And that's why I chose to build one of these Kiwi kits for Australia Day. And we'll be following this little adventure up in a week or so, when we will be building my TASMAN Airspeed Oxford Mark II, which as you can see comes with Royal New Zealand Air Force Air Headquarters calibration flight 1944, and we'll be building that for New Zealand Day, which if memory serves is on February the 6th. And courtesy of J's Model Kits, who now produce these wondrous little bits of plastic, we'll be giving this one away. This was kindly supplied by John Stone, who is the owner of J's, and I'll be giving that one away on the channel shortly. There'll be details to follow on how you can enter that little kit giveaway, I suppose you could call it. So anyway, we're going to talk about basically what I achieved and what I did while I built this Commonwealth Wirraway. And after cutting it from the rather large chunky sprues, we set about it, as you kind of need to do with these, as there was lots of residue from the moulding process, the injection moulding process on these. We set about it with some tools, including our hard L, a rubbing stick, a sanding stick, some cutters, and a whole bunch of files and whatnot. When we'd finished refining the parts, there is actually 4 or 5 videos documenting my build on this. We started to put them together. And we found that when you refine them and when you do a half decent job of trying to put these things together, they don't turn out like this bloody carbuncle. They do actually go together quite well, and they do make quite a nice kit. Slightly more interesting, I think, than the modern sort of variants. You can actually get a special hobby Wirraway apparently. Not got it, don't know anything about it. But these are kind of unique, I think we can say. Now, saying that, they do come with a few problems. The tools that are used to make these are kind of old, and you do occasionally get the odd blemish in the kit itself, like this chip in the mould here. We also get a couple of bumps and lumps, but I've decided to call these battle damage. Or there was a mechanic who one day was a little bit frustrated, and he decided to set about this aircraft with a hammer. So what did we do? After we put the parts together, we sprayed it in some Army Painter colour primer matte black. I am aware that a gloss black can possibly give you a better finish when you're attacking these with aluminium paint, but unfortunately the matte black is all I actually have. We then painted it up in XF16 flat aluminium by Tamiya using the airbrush, and we then painted the anti-glare marking on the front in flat black XF1. We painted our yellow band, which could have done with being a little bit wider, to be honest with you, in XF3 flat yellow. Our tyres were done in XF85 rubber black, And we used a liberal dosage here and there of XF84 dark iron. I seem to remember doing the undercarriage and a few other parts in that as well. The interior of this particular kit, it's kind of required a floor to be pre-built, and I built that just basically out of some spares in my spare box. There is an option to build a sort of roll cage out of evergreen piping, and Jay's model kits do provide some useful diagrams on how to construct this. I had a quick go at doing this, and to be honest with you, my skills are not at the level of this sort of fine detailing, and all I managed to do was stick a load of parts to my cutting mat. So there you go. As far as the interior goes, we've got 2 pilot seats in here. We've had a kind of rudimentary go at marking up our instrument panels inside, and it kind of looks okay. There is a rear-facing white metal machine gun that comes with this as an option. I've got this detailed up as post-war aircraft 681, which was part of a training squadron, and I kind of decided that it maybe probably didn't have a rear-facing machine gun at this time, because it was a trainer at the end of the day. So why would it be armed, and why would the trainee or the actual pilot need the gun? So I left that out. Whether that's the right decision or not, I ain't quite sure. But it didn't seem to be in the it didn't seem to be in the instructions, which are kind of 2 pages and kind of vague. So that's what we did with the actual building. We did have a bit of a minor oopsie at the rear when we were trimming our tail plane down, and we got a little bit overexcited and we cut a big chunk of it off. Consequently, our tail plane has a bit of an odd angle to it. We've got a bit of a gap there. I might have to fill that in as well. Oh well. So that's not perfect. I know I am not a perfect kit builder. I am a novice at the end of the day. In the inside of these wheel wells here, because you have to trim quite a bit of the excess down that I previously mentioned, again I got a little bit overexcited with the hard L and managed to take off the wheel wells, so I've had to fill those in with a bit of Vallejo magic putty. I've drilled some holes in it and have attached my undercarriage like so. It all worked out fine. It's not perfect, but I ain't ever going to see it again, so I'm not bothered. You probably wouldn't have known about it if I hadn't shown you. So there you go. The cockpit canopies on these are a sort of vacuum form effort, so they're kind of squidgy. It does actually come with 2, which is kind of useful, as you can see, because I made a right pig's ear of painting into that one. We've got a slightly better finish on this one here. It's probably one of my better attempts at doing these, and it's quite a big cockpit canopy, so I'm kind of really quite happy with how that's turned out. The propeller is a white metal propeller, as is the tail wheel and the undercarriage. I had a bit of an issue with the engine, which the original provided one had seen better days, and Jay's models do actually provide a resin replacement with the kit. It didn't, for me, kind of fit very well in the housing, so Mr. White Tack came to the rescue, and we kind of bunged the engine housing up, and then we glued it in place. So that's how we achieved that. Consequently, with all the white metal and excess white tack, it's kind of heavy. I mean, it's probably the heaviest kit that I've built. It's really got some weight to it, you know. So there we go. Like I've said, I painted the anti-glare banding on this in XF1 white matte black, flat black. But it does look a bit shiny. Maybe that's something to do with the varnishing. And as we can see on the colour diagram here, the anti-glare marking was only provided to the front and not the rear, as in this navy version, which again kind of tells me that nobody was facing that way, so that's why it wasn't there. It does also come with this interesting super spread sprayer variant, which is post-war with an Royal Australian Air Force in ulterior use or alternative use. So you can actually do it in something that's civilian as well, which is pretty cool. They are the painting diagrams for those there. So, what else did we do? Like I've said, we maybe did our yellow banding a little bit too narrow. As you can see, it does kind of overlap. We also had a bit of an oopsie with our roo in the roundel. Excuse me, this is why I kind of decided to do this, because I kind of like the roo in the roundel. Unfortunately, one of our roos broke. Well, kind of disintegrated. It's kind of heavy-handed on my part, to be honest with you, not the decals. The decals are pretty excellent. So on this side, I've had to replace it with a standard RAF roundel from another kit, unfortunately. We've got A20681, which is the aircraft number here. We have actually managed to get a lot of these sorts of caution, warning and hatch signs. Incidentally, this one here should actually be placed underneath the 8, or sorry, above the 8. Unfortunately, I didn't leave enough space. There's another caution and warning sign on the back here. When we came to attach our canopy, I think I'd flexed this out a little bit, because I'd had it in some white tack, which I use quite regularly, and we might have sort of bowed it, and consequently it hasn't got a perfect fit, but I'm okay with it. I ain't got a problem, you know. The aerial here was actually pinched out the spare box as well. It was originally provided as a white metal part, though unfortunately during the sort of 2 weeks that I was building this, it kind of just vanished. So that's actually part of the Panzer III. Kind of makes sense to you keep your spares at the end of the day. This is something that I'm learning. The varnish we used for both the first coat of varnish and then put the decals on, and then another coat of varnish on top. We did both of those in acrylic satin varnish by Vallejo. And as I might have said, where we have these boxes in front of us, we did this as part of one of my regular sort of build features, where I like to let you guys choose. And I offered the choice of building the TASMAN CA12 Boomerang, Australian Spitfire Mark 8 or the Wirraway. And during the course of the voting in the comments section, a lot of you guys kindly took part, and it was the Commonwealth Wirraway that won. So that is why we have the Boomerang and the Spitfire in the rear there. I'd like to do a quick shout out to Jay's Model Kits in New Zealand, who provided this kit, and like I've said, we'll be providing a freebie to one of you lucky viewers in the form of this Airspeed Oxford Mark 5, which I'll be building roughly in a week's time, once I've had a bit of a rest in Cornwall filming for YouTube. So yeah, thanks very much, John Stone, for your help, and your help in completing my Spitfire and Seafire collection of these kind of awesome kits. You can buy Tasmans and Venturas online via eBay. You tend to pay sort of £15 to £20 for them, sometimes more, and sometimes, as I've experienced, there's a missing part here or missing decals or whatever. So everything in the original Tasman Ventura range is actually available from Jay's Model Kits, and they are in New Zealand, so unfortunately the postage charge if you're in Europe or the States is not insignificant, but you'll probably find that if you're buying a couple of kits, it works out cheaper than buying them off eBay secondhand, and you're going to get something that's brand new. So that's all I've got to say about that. I hope you like my Commonwealth Wirraway. I'm pretty happy with it. I really have enjoyed building this. I can't say that enough. It's complex, it's hard, it's time consuming. Some people might say it's a bit irritating, but I had a great time. I learned how to use this thing, and I learned a lot of new things about myself, and I learned a lot of new sort of minor techniques, like doing a bit of vacuform, using white metal parts for the first time, which was a plus, and I really enjoyed building it. So there we go. Not for everybody, but I've got to give this a double thumbs up for interest alone, and that's about all I've got to say, I think. Please do like and subscribe. Oh, hang on a minute, I've got to drink my Morris Rutherglen whiskey, single malt, brewed in Australia, or malted in Australia, or whatever you want to call it, distilled in Australia. We won't be getting this one out again till we do another Australian kit. When we do the Kiwi kit, we've got some New Zealand whiskey coming up. Yes, I'm great. Thanks very much, and be seeing you, and cheers. And to those in Australia, g'day. Happy Australia Day, guys. Thanks very much for watching, and be seeing you.